Alrighty, I'm checking back in. I hope I can get Chase back on. I don't know what happened there, but I think I lost my internet connection and I couldn't even post the story for a little while there. Chase, you back on there? Let me get you back in here. Yeah, I don't know if I lost my internet because I still had over a minute left. I know that it was counting down, but I know it wasn't done yet though. I don't know if my internet went out or what happened. There you are. I am so sorry that it cut you out like that, brother. That was
First, I'm so sorry, man. I thought for a second, I thought IG was like, Chase, stop talking too much. You know?
you broke the internet. There you go. Good going.
Oh no, man. That's Darnell, man. um, I don't know where we left off, but I think we were talking about something. So.
You were talking about that you were having a rough day.
Oh goodness, yes, yes.
See, we forgot about it. See, that's how good it is. Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. It really is. Um, I'm not. My grandma was 95. She lived a very long, fulfilling life, but she ended up passing this morning. But um, it made me realize. I started as I was driving home. I said, how comedy has made me helped me deal with um, turmoils and certain things in life. It actually has like helped me by being a comedian and being around comedians and comedy. It's helped me to deal with certain situations like these. And I and I've heard you, and I think it has done the same for you. I think when I hear you talk, right?
Absolutely. Again, getting back to Donnell. The first time that Donnell came to my house, it was for my son's 10th birthday. I invited him. I didn't think he was going to come. Uh, he actually passed up a gig that he had with Chappelle that day in California with Stevie Wonder. And I'm going to tell you what Donnell told Dave on the phone. He said, just yell out, "I'm rich, bitch," one or two times. And he goes, "Steve, you'll think that I'm there." Okay. So that's Donnell Rollins for you. Um,
Yeah.
but he came to the house and we were having a conversation and I started to talk. We were talking about comedy and how my father introduced me to comedy at a very early age, and how my father basically taught me to laugh at life, death, and everything in between. And as I was saying that, Donnell said that life, death, and everything in between right along with me. So I knew right then and there that was the beginning of a bond that has, to me, it's an unbelievable bond that I'm grateful for. You laugh at everything. We do the too soon stuff on Instagram. Half the stuff doesn't get posted because it's going to offend somebody, because it's going to be too soon or too dark, but you have to laugh at everything. And I'm not saying that you have to do it in public. I'm not saying that you have to make jokes
Right.
about everything. I'm saying if you have someone, and the wonderful thing about comedians is comedians, when they get together, it's brutal.
Brutal.
It's brutal, and a
Watch
lot
your six. Buckle up.
of and a lot of people don't understand. A lot of things that are said may sound like they're hate, but as long as there's humor and there's comedy there, it's love is what it is. You go deep and you go dark on someone because you care about them, because you respect them, and they're going to come back at you just as hard. I mean, like I said, I'm grateful to be able to do that with Donnell. I'm also grateful to be able to do that with my wife too. She has a deep, dark sense of humor. So there's sometimes like I'll say something and like and I'll be like, "It's me." Like, really? Did you think I was serious about? It's like you have to laugh at everything. My
Yeah.
comedy, my comedy is dark. My comedy is about what I
Oh,
go through every day.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
get the audience reaction of, I get the cringe and then I get the laugh because it's the, oh, wait a second, he's joking about it though. It's
Right.
his life. So, okay, that's tough. That's dark, but he's making a joke about it. If he's laughing to get through it, then I should be laughing along with him.
Should be
You
laughing along. Yeah.
See the humor, realize there's no hate, there's no anger, there's no malice in my comedy. The humor's there. Yes, it's under a layer of pain and darkness sometimes of what we go through in this house, but that's my therapy. I don't have to go sit on a couch. I don't have to pay a shrink
Don't have to Yeah.
$1,000 a session. I can't afford it. So
Yeah.
that's my therapy.
That's good. Yeah, and I believe that I agree with you 100%. You know, a lot of comedians will say comedy is their therapy. A lot of comedians will say it's their outlet. Whatever external particular thing that you want that you're giving out, and whatever you internalize. You know, I think it's all helpful. You know, I'll be honest with you, this is actually very awesome that I'm doing this tonight, because this has helped me kind of forget about the whatever. Um, but man, I can't wait for comedy to come back, because because we have a lot of things to talk about as comedians. So I'm very hopeful that which it will. You know, we have to. I think people forget that we have to. People have to understand that if you don't, Teddy Atlas said, Teddy Atlas, who I follow, I follow his inspirational stuff, because this guy trained some of the best boxers in the world. You know, Mike Tyson and all these guys, and you know, he has a fighter's personality, right? He's like, if you don't have turmoil, if you don't have trauma, if you don't have something, if you don't have that in your life, you're just not getting it. You have to have some sense of, so you can get through it, you know?
That's
Yeah.
that's deep, and it's dark, and I understand that.
Dark.
I have a lot of people tell me all the time, "Oh, don't you wish you could go back in time? Don't you wish your son wouldn't have gotten sick, 16 years ago?" Yeah, I wish he didn't get sick 16 years ago, but I can't go back in time. And then you'll always get the people be like, "Oh, well, if you could go back in time." And the honest answer is no, I can't. But and it's a weird answer. My wife and I have had discussions about this. I don't think I would go back in time. I absolutely hate what my son goes through almost on a daily basis. It's horrible to watch some days, but again, this is weird, and this is something that I've found within myself. What my son goes through and what my family goes through inspires and helps people in bigger ways than I even realize. And I don't think that had we lived a normal life, that I ever would have been able to touch people, that my son would have been able to, like I said, I hate what he goes through. The only good thing that I take out of it is knowing that there's somebody's taking something positive away. Somebody's realizing. I've had a lot of people tell me how it's changed their life, and how they've changed the way that they act and they respond to things and they react to things. And I'm always humbled by that, and I'm always appreciative of it. But don't ever think that the weight that you carry is any less because of what I carry. You know,
Right.
It's important that if you're going through something, go through it. Don't just brush it off because you saw that maybe my day was a lot worse than yours. If you're going through something, go through it. Talk to somebody. You know, we all go through things on different levels. It's all different weights. And we all need to, and again, thank you, because this is therapy for both of us. Now we realize it's just two people talking about whatever, and it's therapy for both of us.
The biggest battle that I feel like people have to go, the biggest battle that people actually, I think, go through is the battle of the mind. And if you can't control your, I guess, what you're putting out, then you won't be able to control this. So if you can at least try to get through and give out good, and just try to just be productive and stay consistently positive, you know, it eventually, you know, gets to here. And then you can, you know, people think, you know, my friend Randy's, you know, who, you know, we have a podcast and we do our podcast together. We've been doing it for 4 years. And he said something interesting on the podcast. He goes, you have to, it's kind of like dating someone. Some people want to do 0 to 100 so quick. They want to like be, some people want to be like the best comedian. They want to go 0 to 100, you know. Yeah. They do an open mic 1 year, 1 year of open mic, and then they want to go headline, like, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Instead of focusing on doing 1% better each day, If you do 1% better each day, those 1% increments add up to that 100% over time.
Absolutely.
And in that time that you are working on yourself, you're getting to know that journey
Are you
versus going to.
are you still there? I'm sorry, my
Yes,
phone's
I'm still here.
okay. Can you still hear me? Can you?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, my phone just glitched. I just wanted to make sure everything was good. Keep going. I'm sorry to interrupt there.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Yeah, but I was just saying, I think if people can focus on, what my friend Rainey was saying, if people focus on just doing 1% better each day, that's more progress because, we're not, listen, I'm just an average person, right? The average person has just go through average things, right? And they do, so like, for example, right? If you're a person that doesn't make their bed in the morning, just start there. Yeah, I'm guilty, right? You know, how about starting just making your bed each day? And then, okay, and then that goes to the kitchen, and then it goes to the living room, and then it goes to the car, and then it goes to your home office, and then it goes to your desk, and then it goes to maybe your family. So 1% better each day adds up to eventually that 100% over time versus going to 0 to 100. And I think when it comes to mental health or if you're dealing with issues, I think so many people like to focus on want to get better so quick, so they look for certain outlets that may be harmful instead of just dealing through the pain. Deal with the pain, like deal with it as best as you can, and have a good support system. If that makes any sense at all, Andy, I'm not sure.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Like I was talking earlier too about that. It's definitely important to talk to someone. And I was talking about some things that I do. What do you do when you realize that you're beginning that your energy is going bad? What helps you get your energy back to a good place? Is it music? Is it art? Is it comedy? Is it what gets you there?
That's a question for me.
Yes,
Comedy,
absolutely.
for sure, 100%, and I would say music as well, but comedy number one, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you like? My wife and I have this thing. We call it mindless TV or mindless comedy. We're like, after a rough day, we're like, okay, let's just find something mindless. Let's find something,
Yeah.
some old comedy, just something that you're just gonna just laugh stupidly at.
I can give you so much. Archie Bunker, All in the Family, Golden Girls, Three's Company, the Jeffersons, Sanford and Son.
Barney Miller. Oh my God, it's.
They don't make shows like that anymore,
No.
but they were great.
Do you know what I've actually found myself hooked on lately? I never watched it. I never enjoyed it. Everybody Loves Raymond. I just started watching that.
Oh, really? You just started watching it?
Just started. I never watched it when it was on. I'm just getting into the reruns now, and I got to tell you, that is some genius writing. For the writing aspect of it, I sit there and I'm like, oh my God, that's absolutely genius, and I enjoy that. But like you said, some of the older TV shows, the Sanfords and Sons, it's just, you can just laugh hysterically. And the thing you realize too, you look and you realize that that's what you grew up on, and you realize that's what taught you comedy. But you also realize that if people are watching that now, people are they're shrugging, they're freaking out. They're going, "Oh my God, can he say that? Can he?" Even if you get a chance, my wife and I too, like the old Match Game, the old Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood Squares, yes.
Some of the things that are said on there, and especially like the Match Game with what's his name, Richard. What was the guy who was drinking and smoking on this Richard? I can't remember his name. Whatever. Man, I mean, these guys were drinking and smoking, saying the most inappropriate stuff, and it's just like, can we get back to that?
They were saying, they were saying so much inappropriate stuff on Love Connection, Andy. Remember Love? Was it Dan? What was it? Dan something? He had the tan. His tan was on point. His tan was on point in the 80s.
Absolutely.
So Yeah, but shows obviously now are like, I mean, whatever. I mean, whatever. They're all whatever. But the shows back in the days were awesome. 80s, 70s, I mean, timeless stuff. Timeless stuff. And it's not like they were. In my personal opinion, I don't think they were too erratic or they were too vulgar. I don't think they were. But you know, like they were just what they were.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a sign of the times. It was, and it's funny now too to look back and realize when you start looking back at history and you look back at comedy, a lot of the things that they were joking about, we're still going through. We're still trying to figure out. We're still. It's not. You know. It's comedy is always comedy. True comedy is always honest, and it was honest then, and it's still honest now. And I'm glad that it's still fighting. You know, so many people are caving into the Me Too, and listen, they're cleaning up Hollywood. They're cleaning up a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. But please, comedy doesn't need to be cleaned up. Comedy is honest. Comedy is true. Leave it. Let it be what it is. If you don't like it, then stay away from comedy.
just turn the channel.
Exactly. Yeah. Let comedy be what comedy needs to be. Comedy needs to be Mel Brooks. Comedy needs to be saying maybe something that's inappropriate to some people. Again, if you don't like it, change the channel. There's 1,000 channels. It's not like when we grew up when you had 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 11. There's 1,000 channels on at night that I go through and I still can't find anything on.
Well, you know, Andy, we've lost context. You know, people have, we're losing. You know, they're contextualized. You got to when you go to stand-up comedy show, you have to you got to put yourself not first. You know, yeah. It's not about you. You know, it's about the group of people that you're sharing a space with. It's like a condo, right? Hey, we have a pool. I have a pool. No, you don't. We have a pool. Yeah. So if you start to, I think if we start to think as let's us have a good time. Let's us laugh. Let's us not get sensitive. Let's us not, wow. You know, I think it moves in a different narrative. The narrative changes, and it just, you know. But I really believe that all this stuff is starting to kind of dwindle away slowly but surely, and because everything's a trend, you know. And but as comics, though, it's important, in my opinion, that we do not fall or break under the pressures of a small group of movements or whatever the case may be. Stand-up is meant for, like you said, to be true. Sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's light, sometimes it's heavy, but it's the only last free form of art form. You know, it really is an art form. You know, and I truly believe that. And look the one thing that I've noticed about think about if you was to take a person from America and you took a person from Ireland or Saudi Arabia or anywhere in Asia, and if you just slipped and fall, everyone's gonna laugh.
Yes.
Laughing is one of the probably only linear things that everyone can relate to in the world.
It's universal. It absolutely is. It absolutely is, and that's. I think I want to go back for a second for what you just said about. I think that was so important. What you said about everybody's forgetting. We're together here. It's we. It's not me. It's not you. It's we. That's an important thing to remember. You know, we're all in this together, and we all have to figure out how to get through this together. And yes, because we are a we don't always have to agree, but don't try to take what I have and say, oh no, that's not right because I say it's not right. It's we. Let's communicate. Let's listen to each other. Let's hear each other out. We don't have to agree, but let's all talk. And again, it's not me. It's not you. It's that we is a very important thing. Very important.
Yeah. We from I. I mean, they use it in the same in sports and stuff like that, right? There's no I in team and whatever. But yes, I and not only we share laughter is also shared, but also trauma and things like that is also everyone can relate to, right? Going through trials and tribulations. So it's interesting how we don't hear about the people. It's interesting how we don't talk about the things that gives us issues and we don't talk about those things, but we will talk about comedy. Like, you know what I mean? We have to talk about everything.
Yeah.
If you're having a bad day, we should, you know, if you want to share it, because not everyone is very vocal and like to share and like to go on these platforms and share. I think, but keeping it in is not all. I think it's a recipe for, you know, something that could be, you know, very harmful later on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's good now.
And again, I say it, and I think again, it's something that I've learned just from, you know, being on here and chatting with people. You know, whether it be through DM again, like anything. Is it there?
Yeah, it's like fighting the frequency, but it's gonna get there. I just think, yeah.
Oh, it's good now. Okay. You know, again, you know, we just need to just keep the lines of communication open and just keep laughing at everything. I mean, it's
right.
It's 2020. Right. I mean, it's just been rough on everybody, and we just
really
gotta learn to laugh at it all. Again, secret life. You know, if you can learn to laugh at yourself, you can get through. And like I said, I'll say from what I've been through, if it wasn't for laughter, there are so many days. There's so much that I've seen with my son living in and out of children's hospital.
Right.
Funny to you, and maybe you shouldn't say.
I'm gonna try to fight through the frequency here. Hopefully,
you know,
hopefully
maybe it is inappropriate, but if it makes you laugh and it takes a little bit of an edge, or like I said,
I can, yeah. It's a hard, you know, it's a hard thing to admit that, you know, sometimes it's hard that it's hard sometimes for people to admit that they want help. And I think once you get over the insecurity or the deflection of not wanting to ask for help, I can tell you right now, man, like I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't ask for help or I didn't ask questions. And so I think it's important for people to not be so worried about what other people think. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to talk to somebody. It's okay to put yourself out there. So, and it goes back to what you're saying. It's about conversation, you know, but it's also more importantly, it's very important that you surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who are willing to take the time to listen to you. There's a lot of people who are out there who are quick to respond, but not quick to understand. And I think if you got to know how to put yourself in places where you can get that back. Because a lot of people tend to be in situations where they continue to not get, you know, productivity out of a friendship or relationship, and they will continue to just kind of spiral instead of being in a situation where people can help them, you know, if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely does. It's you're definitely touching on some deep things, and I appreciate, because that's what I want. This is a place where we can just open up and just, again, this is helping someone. The whole stereo, I'll be okay. And again, being open and able, I think a lot of it comes with age with me too. You know, really being 51 now, I'm really, you know, you always heard about it and you always heard jokes about it. And I know a lot of older comedians would joke about it. You know, you get to that age where you just don't care and you just say whatever and you just live however. and it is true. I think it's to that point where, you know, I'm trying not to say anything to offend anyone, but if I say anything and you're offended, that's my truth. And if I say something, that's coming from somewhere inside of me that's saying it's okay to say this. It's okay to be like this. I can learn from people. Like I said, in my trials and tribulations and what I've seen in my life, I've learned from so many other special needs families, parents, children. I've learned more about life from my son. My son can't speak. My son hasn't said a word since he got meningitis at 3.5. Hasn't spoken since then. He tells me more every day with his eyes, with his body language, with his love, with his caring than anything. So there's so much out there. And again, too, like you were saying, too, it's the energy. I feel people's energy. I'm happy to connect with people just because of their energy. Like you said, you can feel it. You can connect with it. It's positive. You both get something out of it. It's not just one-sided. You both
Right.
something. You understand, and it's a wonderful thing. And again, what this is, I don't know when I get on here at 8 o'clock on a Monday night. I have no idea. But when I walk away from this, when I hang this up later, when I go upstairs and I go to sleep, I feel good. I feel good. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. I'm not doing this. As you just said, we're doing this together.
Right. Yeah.
And that's important. So thank you for this. You know,
No,
I could get on here and babble and it may not make sense. But when I'm connecting with somebody and we're sharing something, it's truth.
it's truth. Yeah, it's truth. And it's our truth, you know, and, you know, whatever, you know, and, I think we know we can continue to, as long as we continue to stay consistently positive, especially during these times. You know, God, you know, obviously, you know, we all have our, you know, personal things that keeps us. You know, life's about tests. You know, life's about tests. And then I've never been a great SAT scorer, but I still was able to go to college though because I found a way. You know what I mean? So basically, just because if you don't know how to handle one thing, just you could pivot and kind of go around it. You know, like it's like a paintbrush. You know, it's like that's how life is. It's like life's about frequencies. You know, it's sometimes gonna be hard, sometimes gonna be low. You know, man, it's this was great. You know, and I appreciate you for giving me time on your platform to talk and. You know, and I was really wanting to do this, you know, at some point, you know, whether later. I know at some point we were going to meet at some point.
Absolutely. And this isn't the only time we're going to do this. This was a wonderful conversation. This was a very honest conversation. And again, I appreciate what you brought to it. So I can tell you right now, we are definitely having this conversation again, because this is, you know, this is what I want to just bring this, just open this honesty, this positivity, this joy. You know, my thoughts and prayers with you and your family. You just went through a very tough thing today, and you're sitting here and you're talking with me about anything and everything.
I just had to, I mean, I'm not, you know, it wasn't for, it was just, I just had to say it because I just was like, it was in me. I couldn't keep, you know, so it wasn't for anything else besides just to let you know, like, people also, I want to tell people also are going through things that you may not know that they're going through things, you know. So it was great, and I'm sure we will continue this. And I will say this: if I want a bearded humor shirt, and I'm gonna buy one, and I will wear it very proudly.
You send me your address, and I will send you a couple. I'll definitely send you a couple because, like I said. Just seeing it, like every now and then, like I'll see somebody wearing one, and to me that is you couldn't pay me for that. It's just priceless knowing that somebody's wearing something because of the shirt made him smile, the shirt made him, it did something. I mean, half the people are going to look and not know what the hell it means, but the fact that like I said, the fact that I see 40 wearing it, the fact that I'll see you wearing it, that to me it's priceless. And again,
yeah. Just like my friend Randy says, man, it doesn't matter about a lot of people. you have as long as your small army of people who are loyal, they will understand, and those are the people that we're speaking to. We're speaking to the people that that know us, that understand us. We're not going to hit when people there's 7 billion people in the world, so it's like, you know, it's one small army at a time. You know, you want to, and that's what it is. And there was one thing I will leave off with. If we ever have a conversation later on or sometime, I would like to talk to you about public safety times and how that's like, how with that, you know, because I mean, I was not like you. I mean, you 20 years, and I mean, that's a book alone.
Yeah.
You should definitely write a book, Andy. Like, that's like, you know, and I worked in Boston as a public safety officer too, and I could tell you that I used comedy while I was an officer to get through things, and it helped me a lot.
Absolutely. Again, that's a good conversation. I started my career patrol, warrant detective. I was kind of all over the place, but I will tell you, I have stories from every division about how comedy, you know, saved a situation, changed a situation, and that isn't talked about a lot. I was different than most of the guys I worked with. You know, everybody liked me. They knew me. They knew I was, you know, I was the comical one. I was the joking one. I wasn't again. It was, I wasn't the clean cut. I wasn't the military style. You know, it was almost an accident that I got into law enforcement. It was.
Well, we can talk maybe at some point privately first, and then we'll slowly introduce that to the world, maybe, or something.
Yeah. That'll definitely be a fun conversation another time.
All right, brother. I appreciate you.
For tonight, thank you so much. Peace, love, laughter. Listen, my thoughts and prayers with you and the family. Sending all of our love. And again, thank you for just being you tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you. That was an awesome conversation that just had there. Sorry it got cut off, but the time was running out. I think I lost my internet, so we ended up with a part 2. I'm going to post that up now. Again, this was this was a very fun night for me. Therapeutic. I hope people listening take something away from it. Take something positive away from it. Again, next Monday night. I almost didn't do this again because I had a rough week. So it doesn't matter what happens. I'll be here next Monday night because I know how important this is for me and for other people. So. Next Monday night, we'll do it all over again. Whatever comes up, whoever wants to get on, we're just going to have some fun. Again, from me, I thank you for everybody tonight. Peace, love, laughter. I appreciate it. Keep the world laughing.